Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to Live with Sheryl. I am your host, Sheryl Mebane, and this is new season, new Sheryl. New season, new Sheryl. And this is my special guest, recurring co-host, special guest extraordinaire, public health ninja, Dr. Felicia Mebane. So here on Live with Sheryl, we have some new things going on, y'all. But as always, we try to keep it fun. We incorporate things from my background. I am an actor, researcher, writer, musician, person who's curious about things, confused about a lot of things, trying to learn, trying to grow. And I'm interested also in pulling in health because there's a lot going on. You got to make sure you don't neglect the health if you want to do anything. So that's what this show is about. And Dr. Felicia is our public health ninja, and welcome. So
Yes.
hopefully you all will feel like connecting with us through the chats. We love that. If you are following me in social media circles, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, you should be able to see this live right now. And you should be able to comment, and I'll be able to respond at some point, and we will work it into the show, or I would just respond hello. So we have a whole lot to do today. For those of y'all who are following me on social media, thank you. And for those who have not yet done it, go ahead and follow me on different social. But with Live with Sheryl, there was a sneak peek into some of the new season features. So you already might have known about some, but not everything. For instance, this is the surprise announcement that I am making today. I will just go ahead and let y'all see, if you can look at a little hint here. The next Live with Sheryl is September 21st. That's in 2 weeks, y'all. New season, twice as much new Sheryl. So what's going to happen is it's not just going to be once a month, the first Thursdays. We're also going to have Live with Sheryl on the third Thursdays of most months coming up in this new season. So that's the surprise announcement that y'all have not heard about yet. But wait, there's more for the new season, new Sheryl. The thing that y'all might have heard about is this new thing that I'm doing, because I'm like all of us, sort of try to be plugged in to what's going on around in the world as much as can be positive, inspiring is what I try to do. And some of that I end up doing for inspiration for my own creativity. So I decided to plug in a little bit more often and share out my thoughts and welcome y'all's through a new segment called Sheryl's Weekly Media Minute. So for those of y'all who have been on my social media in the last couple days, y'all already know. We have been swimming into some topics. I went ahead and let y'all know on social media, but I'm going to bring it here so Felicia and I can really chop it up about some things. Okay, Felicia. What? What? No, we're swimming into Wheel of Time. What? Wheel of Time. And Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay. So let me explain. I'm not going to leave y'all confused. I, of course, get confused very easily, but I'm not going to leave that for y'all. Don't worry. We take care of y'all here. So with Wheel of Time, last year when I was writing as a screenwriter, I was writing some fantasy series and a fantasy movie. I was really into Wheel of Time. Okay, it's a good story, period. I wasn't aware of it before.
I've read the book, just so you know.
Okay, so,
I've read the book.
So you really know. Right, so I wasn't.
And watched the first season.
Okay, yes. So you can really speak. So I have not read the books, but I was so into that first season that I was like looking online for like spoilers about the books to know what's going to happen next. So I completely spoiled myself for everything. So, and the thing that I most recently was writing was not fantasy. So I haven't actually caught back up fully, but I did look at the trailer. So I can discuss some things. I know a little bit of something, but I thought we could open up in Sheryl's Weekly Media Minute. So new season of New Sheryl, Live with Sheryl, going to be every other week. But I'm also going to post on social media just to say, hey, I see things going on. What are y'all thinking? Chop it up. And then we can bring the conversation back here with our guests, including Dr. Felicia. So I have put it out there that I was going to be willing to talk about Wheel of Time, and I also had some of my own opinions and comments that were hinted at slightly about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, because there's some things there that are less than inspiring, as well as some inspiring things to talk about.
Entertaining, right? Which is
Oh,
part of
yes.
the value. Okay, so yes.
Dr. Felicia knows. She knows why we view
Yeah,
entertainment.
exactly.
Sometimes it's confusion that it causes for me more than like clarity of, oh, this is what the story like. What are y'all doing? I'm like, what are y'all up to? So I think Felicia, I think you probably have more like, let's dive into Wheel of Time. Is that what you're vibing with? Because it was listed
Well,
first. It
to
didn't
be
matter.
honest with you, it's been a while. So
Well,
I think I can react, but I'm not sure if I can
okay.
lead it tonight.
All I was going to share was I'm going to have this new segment, and whatever we want to talk about, we can. So what I was going to talk about with Wheel of Time was I was tempted to get back into it, but for me, as I'm very trying to be judicious about what I feed my brain in terms of inspiration when it's actually scripted stuff, I'm not writing fantasy. And so I'm trying to make sure I'm watching more of the things that I'm writing. But I watched that trailer, y'all, and I was so close to getting pulled back in. I was like, if I hadn't already learned through reading ahead at the end of last season, because I was so in it, if I hadn't already learned where the characters in the books were going, I would be like, yeah, because they released like 3 episodes for people like myself. But I couldn't wait. I had to just go ahead and know. And so then, like I say, I've come away from it. But that trailer looked good. They know what they're doing in terms of expanding the world, I think. So if y'all have comments and you want to let us know if we're making a big mistake, not go ahead and watching season 2 right away because, oh my God, you need to let us know that. And if you think you have other things you want us to comment about, because I'm not planning to talk about any certain show all the time every week. It's just going to be whatever I'm interested in or whatever Dr. Felicia happen to be interested in, she can bring up, or y'all. So, but if y'all think, oh no, y'all got to talk about Wheel of Time again and catch up, let us know why we should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have heard that I guess some folks who read the books thought the first season on Netflix wasn't as good as they expected it to be. And then I've heard some people say the second season is a lot better.
Well, that's
And
great. It's
and
great
I
that. Mhm.
part of it is it's so complex. I mean, there are multiple key characters. You're talking about, like you say, fantasy and all of these things. I mean, I can see how a TV show, which is aiming for the entertainment at in a different way than a book would, might
Mhm.
struggle, and it might take a full season to get to where things make sense or are able to really get into it enough that it would be better. So,
I think you're right. I think the challenge of trying to, as a writer or creative person in any kind of capacity, take something that's established in another medium and that's really popular and that has serious fans, and then bring that over in a way that lets other people enter. That's super challenging. I know they talked about, some of the creators talked about that challenge, and that's one of the reasons I wasn't deciding to watch it if I'm not going to be writing fantasy or sci-fi, because I'm writing my own things, not something on existing IP right now. And the bonus you have of leaning on fully developed, thought out worlds, I mean, that's amazing. But then if that's not what you're trying to shrink everything, or find the right angle through something that already exists, but you're trying to create a new thing, it's a different bag. So I was like, yeah, this is challenging, and I'm glad to hear if people are saying that it's going better. I'm glad, because I love that diverse cast. I love how beautifully they're shooting things. Everybody's looking really great as they're going through these intense themes and action sequences and these moral conundrums and things. So I love it for them that they're pulling it off better, because it just feels like that world, even though I didn't read it, I just read about it, about the books, it feels like that world has a lot to offer.
oh,
So,
absolutely. And also, hi, CB, we have a comment just to make sure.
hey.
Hello. But one of the things I do love, it's like Lord of the Rings and Star Trek. I mean, they are fully built like universes and galaxies and everything. And so I do love it, as you said, when it works, and I
Yeah.
love it when, there's magic involved and
Yeah.
you've got your evil and your good, but it's
Mm-hmm.
complex and
Right.
relationships. I mean,
Right.
to me, I like when they combine those things that are about human nature, because it
Yep.
fundamentally is about that, right? But they
Right.
put something around it
Yeah.
that feels new and a little bit different and not
Right.
as predictable,
Right.
as maybe Love and Hip Hop. I don't know. I'm just
Well,
saying,
no,
you know what I'm
but
saying?
that's the
But
rule. That's the
that's one of the
assignment.
differences.
But that's understanding the assignment in your genre. If you are
Right.
not going into fantasy and giving us something we can't get in realistic circumstances, you didn't understand the assignment.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, that should be part of the surprise. We get surprises of unique characters and all kinds of stories, but part of the surprise in fantasy should be just how does this world work and what makes
Right.
it
Right.
different than, yeah, what we know. So,
Right.
no, it's all
Every
good.
vampire cannot be the same. You know what I mean? So, and not that they're vampires in that one, but I'm just saying,
No.
if you're gonna do something, there's got to well, you're hoping for as a reader or viewer an angle that might be a little bit different.
Yeah, totally. So I think we can move on because you mentioned you went ahead and said there's some things that are predictable about Love and Hip Hop. Well, let me just go ahead and say I have been watching that show in different seasons, like Love and Hip Hop New York, and then down to Atlanta and over to LA and then Miami at different times. I'm usually not caught up because I'm busy with other things and I like reality TV a lot. But since I'm not writing in reality TV or doing music for reality TV or in any way kind of like auditioning for reality TV. Again, I try to make sure I more so watch the things that are related to what I'm trying to create. But I just love that show because of representation of a lot of people of color trying to balance work life, talking about ambition, talking about working with one another, get to the next level, and then talking about some mess.
And
So
some
the time of
drama. Yeah.
and some drama because that's part of what is supposed to be offered. So
Right.
with this series, I was just loving hip hop overall. The more people were getting into people's music journeys in terms of navigating the industry, either getting somewhere they have never been before or making that comeback. And so I'm watching some of these folks, and I don't know if you are keeping up at all with any of Loving Hip.
Not
Okay,
not right
so
now. Now again, folks, I have at one point as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
just not now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I only caught up because I was looking online at different things and following different people who were creating podcasts and shows to have models for this show. And some of them were talking a lot about what was going on with Love and Hip Hop. And I was like, oh, okay, let me remind myself. And so I got pulled back in. So I've caught up a little bit more just because I was sort of just pulled into familiar people. Oh, what are they doing now? And so more recently with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, there's a lot of good stuff. And then there's the drama sort of pulling away from it. So one of the things I was going to highlight just for this show, there's a lot of health themes they really engage with. That's a
Mm.
show where, yeah, there's some things that are like, well, in real life, y'all would just walked away and never seen each other, but I guess we're going to do it for the show. But there's also some stuff that's so real, like someone's mother reminded me of our father going through cancer, like
Mm.
brain cancer, like
Yeah. Hmm.
super scary, Felicia. And I was just like, ooh, people say reality shows not real. That's super real. And trying to
Hmm.
keep moving forward and trying to engage with your creativity when that is what's going on. And you're sitting there knowing that the mom is in the audience and maybe some of the last time, I was like, that was compelling to me. So
Hmm.
yeah, not to. I know the show's supposed to be fun, but we also, get in and engage with some of what's
Yeah.
out there, and they handled it, I thought, really well because here, the mother is wanting to be there and wanting to be a part of, and then of course the son, not of course son, but it just so happens I think Young Jock is the artist name. He's up there trying to do his thing and putting his stuff out there and just wanting to share that while he can with his mom.
Right.
So
Right.
not like
Yeah.
keep moving while you can. Don't give up and just keep engaging with life while we can. So that was on
Hmm.
a more serious note, just pulling in something that really meant something to me.
Hmm.
Now
Hmm.
on some drama, y'all. Now
Yeah.
y'all,
Well, I mean, if I remember correctly, those they've always done that.
yeah.
And so, and sometimes the health is a little more trivial. So somebody had plastic surgery, but then they would also talk
Yeah.
about sometimes, well, it didn't go quite like I thought it
Exactly,
would,
Felicia.
etc.
Hmm.
And so or women who are pregnant or dealing with pregnancies and things. So I think part of the reality that is shown is that they show, so maybe somebody's business didn't go as well as they thought, or the marriage is not going as well as they thought, and all of
Yep.
those have impacts on your health. And so
Exactly.
I think that is one of the values of
Yeah.
having reality where they really are about people and their
Yeah.
relationships and what's happening, because you can't, and I think the shows have been intentional about that sometimes,
Yeah.
as the participants on the shows are connected to issues that they care about. and
Yeah,
then they're willing to
exactly.
share their journeys, and then people can learn from it too, or be
Exactly.
inspired or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. Across all kinds of trying to heal, even through their music, from loss in their families and
Right.
dedicating pieces to people, or just engaging with the topics intentionally. And so, like you were saying, sometimes they're very intentional about it. And so I have a bunch of things about past seasons, but more recently, one of the things I was going to shout out was a little bit of, I don't know if it's course correction or just how to label it, but there were some topics coming up, I guess, for some other castmates. I think one of them's called Rennie Rucci. She's a performer, sort of one of the newer people, I believe, on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And so I guess she's been talking about her journey, dealing with some things with her mother. I'm not sure what was the issue there. I don't know if it was loss or what, but I guess she's been public about it, intentionally like sharing her journey. Another
Mhm.
castmate that she's beefing with sort of made some type of terrible comment like, well, you acting crazy, because I mean they were in a conflict, granted,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
you need some help. And I guess she's been publicly engaging. Renee Rucci, I guess, has been engaging about like, no, for real, yeah, I do need help, and I am trying
Mhm.
to get.
Mhm.
I don't really know. You guys have to correct me, but I love how the castmate who had engaged and sort of used that as jab at Rennie, she came back, and I think her name is I want to look it up, Erica, and she's also an artist, Erica Banks, I think. So I also got to be introduced to her through the show. Like I was like, oh, watching the show, I'm like, oh, I didn't know about her. And so I think she just came back off of that a little bit when she, I guess, either people told her, girl, that's a bad look, or she really reflected. And so the more recent episode, you get her saying something like, well, you never know what somebody's going through. And I guess I didn't know, or she sort of tried to reflect a little bit on how that was not cool to say that, even though somebody's coming for you. That was either the most recent episode or the previous one. So yeah, Erica Banks. So she was
Mhm.
reflecting on saying that, and sort of saying you never know what people are going through. Just trying to say, the young lady I was trying to get at was still being sort of wrong, but I didn't really want to be more wrong in that way, because you never know what people are going
Well, and again, we don't expect people to be perfect. So if you
through.
can learn or be more self-aware even after the situation and come back around, that, as you said, that's good too. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's human.
yeah,
we, we,
exactly.
we at least hope we'll learn. So now let's move on. We've done very well with the Cheryl's Weekly Media Minutes. Sometimes there'll be S on there, more than 1 minute. Sometimes maybe just a minute. So well done inaugurating this new feature. Now, uh, I've been a little busy human here talking about humans, and so I want to get to giving y'all some of the usual updates on what's been going on in my creative world. These are updates as I create. So, in more recent, let's see, I think probably the most recent previous episode of Live with Cheryl, I was talking about that I was enjoying using ChatGPT, using AI to help me restart one of my scripts. So, y'all, I finished that script. And I'm so happy with myself because I got that injection of some different ideas, some of which I scrapped, and then just ran with it. Even though I was busy with music, and I'll update you guys how things recently have been going. But that little project has now gotten to the stage where I wrapped it up. I read it out loud, got some comments from my first listener, who is my husband, Tim. I don't know if he always wants that role,
Tim.
y'all. Hey, Tim. So maybe somebody wants to be an interested reader first. Will probably appreciate it. But he's stuck in that role for now. And he gave me some good comments. He was like, oh, this is good. You're getting better, or something like that. So that's good. And so what I've been doing is sending things out right away. I mean, for me, I'm learning, growing, and I had this project that I thought would let me put my themes in, but was a little bit more of an accessible project. So it ends up being called The Thief and the Wedding Dock by the Sea. That's why I didn't type it out, y'all. It's a very long title. The Thief and the Wedding Dock by the Sea. So at
The
some point,
wedding, the wedding what? Doc?
dock,
DOCK?
no, DOC. Ah, DOC.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because it sounds like it could be the other thing because
The
it's by the
wedding
sea.
doc, yeah, by the
Yeah,
bay. Right, right. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. See, we go there, we go there.
So
It's a long.
it has depth like the sea.
Well, I hope so. I mean, even though it's more accessible, I hope we got some layers. And so I've now sent that out to one of the reputable screenwriting competitions that's held annually that also gives you feedback. And they were offering a special recently where they give you feedback right away. So I'm going to know in like before the next live with Cheryl, I'll have heard the feedback. So y'all will know if I'm like, oh, that was too quick, I should have taken more time. Or if I'm like, no, this is great. So updates as I create. And then one of the things I was going to talk about was because that process for me used a different tool and actually a different kind of an approach to crafting things, because I was building this story as a script. Some of the other things I've done, I actually created as novels first or thought of these characters first for other media. But because this one, I sort of came at it intending it to land in the medium it's landed in, it was a process that I think went a lot faster, in part because of that, in part because I had years of thinking of this along, like I thought about it first a year ago. And then in my subconscious, it's sort of back there somewhere, or I wouldn't have thought about it to put into AI. And then AI helped me redirect. So that to me was this great process of just getting some things moving and flowing and getting out. And if anybody was interested and wanted more updates about these processes that seem to be helping me get things flowing out, let me know. Chat me up or put it in the comments, because one of the people who I was reconnecting with that I'll mention more later in recent doings on the music side was saying, hey, Cheryl, you might want to do some like short tutorial video things about some of what you're doing. He was talking about in music, because that's what we connect on. But in other things too, even though I'm new to the process, there are some tools that I'm finding that are pretty helpful. And if y'all want to know about it and see how I'm plugging them together, just in terms of places to lean and resources like we share here. But if you wanted something that was sort of more extensive, not a lot more extensive, y'all, but a little bit more extensive, then I could be doing something like that over on my YouTube channel. So let me know if you want more of that kind of thing around screenwriting or other things. So that's the update as I create. Now, y'all, we have many, many more updates as I create.
And putting myself on mute. Okay.
Well, you don't have to do that. You don't have to put yourself on mute. We got.
I'm going to listen. Oh, wait a minute. Everybody on mute. You have to do the Beyonce challenge. Everybody on mute. I've been watching those videos on TikTok.
I have not. I am not caught up.
But do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm not caught up. I do not know.
Oh, so as part of the Renaissance tour, she has this song, and she gets to a point where she says, and everybody on mute, and then she stops, and all of her dancers stop. And I don't know how it started from the very beginning, if that was her intent. But then the challenge became at the different venues, how quiet would all of the audience be?
I love it.
We finally got to the point where you'd have 50,000 people and you could hear a pin drop. Exactly. You have to freeze everybody on mute. And it was just a hilarious thing to me to watch, because in some of the earlier venues, people would start keep singing. Everybody's like, stop. She says you. So it's been kind of fun. I don't even know the full song, but it's been kind of fun to watch. Okay,
that's cool. No, I love it. I've been listening to things about the Renaissance tour, just like liking stuff on social media, like, oh, that's so cool, But I haven't plugged into that. Y'all, the way I interact with social media is probably not normal, so I missed a lot of things. But so thank you for letting me know, Felicia, because I need to know.
I'm gonna go on mute.
But you don't have to, but you might as well unmute yourself, because this show needs your vibrant contribution at all times. Okay. Another update I was going to share with everybody, including you, and I want to hear what y'all think, is around my August 20th show over there in California. That was a good trip, y'all. And I thought I would share some highlights. I've already done so on social media in some ways, because the band leader who flew me out there, my girl Becca, was sharing things to get people, interested in coming out to the show. And of course, me and social media on the road is like, I'm already struggling to do my social media anyway. And then on the road, I was like, I didn't do it till I came back. So I shared some things after the show. So some of y'all have let me know you'd like me to share more, and I will. I was just finishing up the script and getting caught up on other business things back at home first. And so now I'm sort of lifted up and looking around again, and I will do that. But I was going to share with you guys something that I hadn't shared yet, because we're sort of moving to a slightly different component of Live with Cheryl. So I was going to, and I will now share this, because things about to switch up. So let me just let y'all know. We are about to play. Everything's about to start. All the doings are happening. We're going to play soon. It's going to be great. Bye. I'll play that one more time, because I had it on mute when I did it before, but it's It's just a little snippet behind the scenes. And this was at the venue, and it was a gorgeous venue. Y'all can see a little bit. This is just me twirling around here. I'll show one more time. I
So,
won't
okay,
loop it,
because I
loop
could
it.
hear something, but I don't think I could see anything.
Okay, let me take everybody out, and then we'll do it proper. Okay, here we go. We are about to play. Everything's about to start. All the doings are happening. We're gonna play soon. It's gonna be great. Okay, y'all. It was just me being a little bit like silly and happy to be doing the things. So it wasn't like it was just some deep video, but that's what I took behind the scenes. It was a fun time. I did drumming, I did some reading, and hanging out with Becca was fun, and hanging out with Carolyn. Hey, Carolyn, and Greg and Kiyomi. Hey, Greg and Kiyomi, and Mary. Hey, Mary. I mean, we saw a lot of great people, and the show had great energy. It was quite an event to be outside doing the doings. An outside event can be open to the elements, let us say, but it was great. And so if y'all ever have a chance, if you're out west and have a chance to get to that venue, check it out. But I mentioned that I was doing a lot of drumming, and that got me sort of back into feeling really like warmed up and like ready to go with that. So that's been really fun for my own music back home. And so I've been already doing more drum tracking for my own pieces. And I'm going to share a little bit of that here as we, things are happening. Things are happening. It's about to start right now. I'm live with Sheryl. All the doings are happening. They're about to start. So I'm going to share a little bit of a piece that I mentioned. I saw Greg and Kiyomi and Tim and Kai and I saw Greg and Kiyomi. We had a great time. And we had a great time with Mary. And we had a great time with Becca. And we had a great time with Carolyn. Hey.
All the people. Okay.
All the people. But Greg is the guitar player who you're going to hear on this version of Might As Well. So I'm going to pull that up. So y'all know with Live with Sheryl that we have an ongoing like health trivia kind of thing that we do on this show. Okay, you guys? So we do what we do. We might as well. And so during the health trivia, I'm going to let y'all listen to just a little snippet of this version of Might As Well that has contribution from Greg Yim and some of the live drumming from me, drum tracking that I did since I got back from Cali. And what we're going to do is have y'all have then some time to take in this health trivia. And just so you know, the full backing here, it's not fully mixed and finished and polished up. I just wanted to share it because I'm going to be singing over it to polish it up and send it out for film and licensing opportunities. But I wanted y'all to enjoy it, get a little fun energy as we are tackling the latest health trivia, because we might as well. So here, go ahead. We'll go ahead and I'll pull up the latest health trivia. Y'all can start reading, and then I'll read it to you, and then we'll get into it. So this is the latest health trivia. Y'all start reading. I'm going to pull up the music that Greg and I are featured on, and then I will read the health trivia to y'all, and there is going to be a prize. I think y'all know how we do. Okay, so let me get the... So this is Might As Well, an instrumental backing that I'll be singing over in the future. So here we go. Health trivia. Get ready. More than how many American adults are not getting enough sleep on a regular basis? More than a half American adults? More than a third of American adults? Or more than a tenth, or 1 out of 10 American adults are not getting enough sleep on a regular basis?
Okay, we have an answer.
Oh, you do already? Okay, well, I'm going to take this thing off
in
mute
the comments.
then. Okay, I'm taking it off mute. Okay, y'all so
Everybody
quick.
off mute. Okay. So the proposed answer is A.
Oh, you want to phone a friend? 'Cause it's close.
Okay, put another one in there. Put another one.
It's close. It's close. Real quick, put another one in. It's not A, but you're still going to be in the mix. It's close. Close to A.
Well, it's interesting how it's framed, because actually, if you say the second answer is B.
Yes. Okay. So, yay! Good job. Good job. We all work together on this show.
But is also accurate because it's more
It is.
than one
It is.
tenth.
And that's
So,
because I'm the one phrasing these questions. I do apologize. And
okay,
that's why
okay,
you
okay.
can get some help. That's why you can get some help. Because
That's
I'm,
my survey research background chiming
yes.
in on the
Yeah, this
specificity.
instrument would not be reliably testing what we want to. There'll be some confounding variables because of trying to interpret incorrectly the answers, and I am sorry. I would have to go ahead and scrap those results and then rephrase some things and find a new population that would let me test what I want to test. Apologies. So more than, and this is a resource that originally I put from CNN, but they were referencing cdc.gov research. So I thought I would
Yeah.
make that really easy for people to go there and, click around, learn a lot of things. I feel like when we're busy and happy doing stuff, sometimes sleep, it goes away. Sometimes you're stressed out doing stuff, sleep goes away, but more than a third of American adults are not getting enough sleep on a regular basis. So there's lots of
Mhm.
different things that can be not so wonderful about that. But what I wanted to do was share my screen and have us go into a little bit of that CNN article just to find some tips on sleep hygiene, because there's a lot of scary stuff that happens if we don't get enough sleep. Like, okay, it's for real. But let's look at some things that we can do, because sometimes it just gets too scary to be thinking about all the different outcomes. Let's just think about what we should be doing as opposed to how scary it's going to be if we don't do something. But y'all can definitely read about how scary it can be if you regularly don't get enough sleep. But here you go. I think y'all can probably see. Yeah, you can see
Mhm.
my screen. So what we're looking at here is creating like this little cozy sleep nest where the temperature around is lower than some of us might think. But find what works for you. And so you can get details there. 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit can be usually better for sleep. Develop a routine. That's something that we do for my little toddler because that helps him get into his sleep mode, and the rest of us could use one too. Cut the lights, which a lot of us do, but even like little screens, like even light sources that you might not think are really bright, but they can still suppress the circadian drive, I guess, says this resource. Y'all look into more details here and really know this is just intended for me to share with you all some reminders that can help us all get a little bit more of what we probably know we might need a little bit more of. Dampen sound. I use earplugs all the time. Avoid that caffeine later in the day. Skip the booze. I'm not somebody who drinks a lot, but I really didn't know that would have been something to think about. That wouldn't surprise me. I've heard about avoiding heavy or spicy foods, and make the bedroom sacred. There's only a couple things you should be doing in there. Yeah, getting down or getting to sleep. So you guys can read that more on your own, because I will drop the links into the comments like I usually do. But I just wanted to pull that up because as I'm traveling with the fam, the travel went well. I'm lucky. The toddler's a good traveler, but you're still having the time differences, and there's still the not being in your routine. And so I'm reminded, like, okay, I'm catching back up with my things at home, and I'm all pumped up and excited. And sometimes that sleep gets thrown off because I'm like, oh, ideas. Oh, I want to catch up and do that. I got to get back into my routine, y'all. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Mhm. Yeah, I
So,
will say, when I had one podcast episode at Norfolk State University that's about student success, and we had talked about that separating, so you're in a dorm room, you may not be able to make your bedroom sacred because you may not have separate space. So then
mm-hmm.
what do you do to sort of signal, I am shifting from studying at my desk in the
Mm,
same room to relaxation? And so we talked about things like covering, putting something over the computer on the desk
I
to
like that.
signal to your brain visually,
Mm-hmm.
shifting gears, or even having a divider that you might put into place, or so
Mm-hmm.
that you
Mm-hmm.
can just
See
signal.
it. Mm-hmm.
And also, as much as you go to the library, to study,
Right.
especially in the evening, so that you're not trying to turn your brain off by
Right.
moving 2 or 3 feet in the same space.
Right. It's so
So there's
tricky.
some creative things that you can do even when you don't have the luxury of the work happens in a whole nother room or a whole
Right.
nother part of the apartment or the house.
Exactly. Confined spaces, small spaces, trying to be efficient, not having to commute here and there, maybe working from home presents some challenges on the other end sometimes, but we can figure it
Hmm.
out. Dr. Felicia
Yeah.
has you. We can find resources. Don't worry. We can get
Hmm.
this done. All right.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
absolutely. So, those are they're well done on the health trivia. But you did answer it correctly. So I got to make sure before we wrap up that I do give you your prize. So the prize is a question. You get to answer, you get to choose. Sticks or hands? Sticks or hands? Sticks or hands? So I'm going to play something either with hands or sticks.
Okay, CB, what do you think? Hands or sticks? We might have to answer. Oh, sticks. That's the answer.
Sticks. Awesome. So here we go, y'all. Let me know if, well, y'all can probably see enough. Here, let me.
Yes.
This is me on my practice pad from like 30 years ago, back at UNC bands, where we want to be able to do some practicing and have everybody that you know back in your dorm not hate you. So you might be able to use a practice pad and get away with some things, you know. So, or at home even, like at home if you're practicing in the summertime, little practice pad.
Girl. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to advertise this practice pad, but it is so slick though. I was just doing my little warm-up stuff. Like, honestly, you guys.
Nice. The comment said nice.
Thank you, but I have gotten back into doing more. So I felt good about sharing with y'all.
Nice.
I was going to take some time and actually move the drums around and be able to do some drum set stuff with y'all. But my little one needed a little bit more for his sleep routine, so I didn't have time to come down here to move the drums around. I had to go up there and give him a little snack. He was wanting a little bit more, you know, the usual sleep routine involves mom. So I had to re-engage. He needed a little bit more of that. So, but I enjoyed that. Thank y'all for Thank you, CB. Hey sis. Thank you, CB, for choosing sticks, because that was fun. Open the I mean CB. So we are, because we're doing live with Sheryl a little bit more frequently, I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us to see each other more often, but also we're going to keep it on a little bit of a shorter time. I only have one more little segment here, and that's another little update as I create. So y'all know I launched over on Patreon, and I have my first patron. So that's been going nicely, and they were very helpful, saying, hey, you might want to post the thing you said you're going to post, just saying. And so that was really great and helpful, because I hadn't attached the right thing to the thing, and so they were like, you might want to attach a thing to the thing. Very polite, very helpful. Thank you. Really supportive. A supportive patron. That was great. So there's my.
It wasn't me, y'all. Just
no, but I mean, that's, hey, I appreciate support from all quarters, and you support me live with Sheryl, you know, so here you are. That's support right there. So another update as I create, I'm over there on Patreon. If you wanted to hear more of, as I mentioned, the Might As Well version that has Greg Yim featured on guitar, it's already up there on Patreon. Also, check out some of what I'm doing over there, because we're going to be doing 2 times a month live with Sheryl, first and third Thursdays. And then still over there, I'm doing a monthly live chat on second Thursdays. Then if I get patrons at the level that has me starting to do the reading / shows and the improvisational shows, if I get patrons at that level, that will probably be a fourth Thursday type thing. But people just let me know. I can move some things around in the Patreon land based on whose schedule is willing to be shared. If y'all want to say, hey, I need it over here, or that doesn't work for me, then I can probably move some things. I don't have that many patrons right now, so we can sort of get in early and sort of land some stuff at a time that works for y'all. So just check it out over there. There are some doings. Now I'm back in town. I'm posting some things on Patreon, on social media, saying hello, engaging with y'all on Live with Sheryl. I'm very happy that y'all are able to check me out and check Dr. Felicia out. Dr. Felicia, you want to let anybody know anything about things going on with you? Because I'm doing my updates.
I'm holding on because we're building some things. So another few weeks, maybe a couple of months, and then I'll have it all for you guys.
Great. So Dr. Felicia has had a chance to do some updates as she is able to create all kinds of great things going on in her end of things. So we'll see. There'll be some updates that she creates too. And then, y'all, we have lots of stuff going on. If you ever want to find out more about what's going on for me, you can follow me on social, but Sheryl'sVoice.com. Sheryl'sVoice.com is my website that links to all my social. Also has links to all the Live with Cheryl season 1 episodes that are up. And then I'm gonna start putting up season 2, y'all, because new season, new Cheryl. Check it out. So next Live with Cheryl in this season 2 is going to be in 2 weeks, and I think we're regularly for the second season going to be engaging every 2 weeks. It's going to be a party, new season, new Cheryl, y'all. So enjoy and thank you, and y'all take care. Bye bye.